Here we go, here we go. Yeah, pre-recorded at this moment. Like 3 in the morning, a little bit after 3 in the morning, pretty much. It's really like it's like breaking news for me. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? Breaking news, breaking the news. You know what I'm saying? Files at this time. Shout out to everybody right now. Hey, y'all know who y'all is, but right now, I want to get to it because I'm gonna make this short video. It's kind of like, 3:20 in the morning right now. So, hey, what's going on? Yeah, me myself, hey, drinking that coffee pretty much is gonna have me extra up, even though, hey, it is what it is. My topic is, I got a situation that occurred, right? The first situation, I was like, pretty much I used to get business contracts, right? When I was working with the city files, I had city license to where as if, my business license, and I was getting work pretty much. This female that I know, she had turned me on to it, but then again was kind of like spinning me, installing me for a minute pretty much, and then all of a sudden start giving me the small contracts, even though it was cool though, because I was getting like several of them per month, right? But she had to move to another location to do that because, people out there in the area where I grew up at a little bit, and she grew up at, they thought we was kicking and she was giving me the contracts, in which she wasn't, it wasn't like that, So they had told the higher boss and whatever else, he had, kind of checked on it, but it wasn't like that. But then she moved to another area, and then I was able to kind of like, be able to kind of, get what I, saying that was sufficient without me having to bid on it pretty much. So, but a situation occurred. Now, I never really even fucked with it. I fucked with it maybe a few times, however, during the course, of the years, because she used to like me, but then I didn't really like her like that, pretty much. So she knew that, she just wasn't my type. You know how somebody ain't your type, but we was cool due to the fact on the business side, because she used to do my payroll. The payroll, you had to do a certified payroll through this software. Now, I used to go get the Mexicans to do the work, even though I didn't get their social security number. I used to act like, I'd done the work myself, even though she knew that. So she put the hours in or whatever else and do what need to be done, because it got to be correctly. Other than that, they ain't going to accept it, in order for the person to get paid. Even though I got to use my own money, and they pay me 30 days later. So, with that being said, she the type of person, like I said, wasn't my tap. Wasn't my tap at all, regardless of how much she told me she liked me and all that there, and how much she was into me. But when she see me with other females that I was in a relationship with, which was only, at that time, since I was knowing, I was in two, relationships, but it wasn't really, the other one, first one wasn't even no relationship, but the second one was, pretty much, because it was a number of years that we kind of like, accumulated, what I'm saying, as far as our friendship, I put it like that, And when she see us at a party, she be looking stupid because can't no woman roll up to me and say, hey, what's up? Why you with her? Because you're not nobody that I deal with, So she figured like she was better than other women's and all this, that, and other, that, she should have been this and she should have been that. But then, you wasn't my type. Again, now, I'm going to go into it like this here. One day last month, we were just so happened talking now. We just was happened to talking, right? And she was drinking, right? She normally drink that bullshit probably, but she was sipping on some cognac on what I was drinking on, right? The Cavassier, right? Man, you know what I'm saying? Something slipped out her mouth, I guess. She was like, said that, just laughing and grinning like, yeah, ready, this, that, another, this, that, another. Hey, but I'm still paying on that $100,000 policy I took out in your name, Then a bitch tried to clean it up, but I got your kids as a beneficiary. I like policy in my name. She like, yeah, I'm paying on it still, Yeah, this, that, another, right? So I ain't say nothing. I kind of like, downplayed it, right? So then again, as time went on, I was like, got down on it, getting on the internet and trying to like see what's what, right? And then, I waited for about, a few weeks and I called her back to the table, you did. So this time I had the camera set up to where as if, she didn't know, the camera set up so we can talk about this here. So you can say this shit out your mouth, right? She thought we was just gonna be kicking and talking and drinking. Wasn't none of this shit. I say, so what's up with that, policy, you said you took out, in my name. She say, uh, yeah, I'm still paying on it, this, that, and another. I was like, well, I ain't got no copy of it. Well, I don't know about it because I don't really know nothing about that. She like, you signed it, you was in my office and you signed it. I say, I don't remember nothing like that. She like, I say, no, but you said that you still paying on a policy that you took out in my name and then you had my kids as a beneficiary. Now, if I was signing something and I was aware I was signing something, and you know what I'm saying, I would have laid that files and put whoever I wanted was the beneficiary pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But she tried to like overtalk me. But I was saying what she was saying. I say, but you said you still paying on that $100,000 policy that you took out in my name. That's what you said. But she started trying to override and to say something else. Remember you was in, no, I don't remember nothing. I said, well, okay, give me the paperwork. Send me the paperwork. Cancel that shit, send me the paperwork, so she was kind of talking loud. I'm like, goddamn if I was, me talking loud, around here, in this area because this ain't that area, right? Trying to prove to me, telling me, I wouldn't do nothing like that, this, that, another, right? So she like, I waited about 4-5 days. So I said, what's up with the paperwork? So she's like, yeah, well, the paperwork, I had to write a letter and then, they going to get back with me. That's why I never got back with you. But listen, ain't no paperwork you got to write. You know what I'm saying? If you was still paying on a policy, you can go right to the motherfucking website, right to the motherfucking portal, right to the log in and goddamn abstract the motherfucking goddamn the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Saying that you paid this and paid that with my name on it, whatever, So it's like, well, I'm waiting on this here, and, they going to get back with me, you know what I'm saying? Because the bitch a liar. That's why I never fought with her like that, you know what I'm saying? Not only that, she wasn't my type, period. It was just on the business side, and therefore, she had kind of ended the business by telling me she wasn't going to be working in this vicinity no more, that she was changing jobs, you know what I'm saying? But that I found that to be a lie pretty much, but it wasn't no motherfucking major, you know what I'm saying? Because I had like, a run after motherfucker from 209 all the way goddamn it files to 215, pretty much. And then other people she was referring me to, but then again, files, you didn't give me the bigger contracts. You gave me the mediocre shit, like, maybe a one for 2,500, 3 of them for 2,500 in a month, or maybe, one for this, for, what I'm saying, emergency contracts. But then again, like I said, I feel, what I'm saying, by me had to give this motherfucker my information. See what I'm saying? See, by she was the person that, write this shit up and they approve and go with what she say. I had to give her my information. So that's where she got it from. She figured because I'm maybe a street nigga that I wasn't going to be able to kind of like, what I'm saying, file no taxes and whatnot. So 2 years ago, I got some in the mail, motherfucker talking about, did I file taxes? I told him no, so I called them and told them no. They like, so we going to give you a PIN number. So every year you got to use this PIN number, right? Because I haven't filed taxes that year, anyhow. So with that being said, so what do you do when a motherfucker be lying and doing this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? So, motherfucker didn't respond and whatever else. So, I told a couple of friends what was going on, right? You know what I'm saying? But let me show you this motherfucker. It just go to show you, this motherfucker, I already got the 411. How you bitch used to be a crackhead, even though a lot of motherfuckers was fucking with them drugs, you know what I'm saying? They got themselves together, they got the jobs because they had no felonies, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bitch may rise to this here. Bitch used to hella like me and all that old bullshit, but the bitch wasn't even my type. You understand? I used to tell a bitch about herself, you did, even though her friends know and shit, they laugh, you know what I'm saying? When I say, I had told her about goddamn how her breath used to stink so motherfucking bad, you know what I'm saying? The bitch be chewing gum. Now, goddamn if you chewing gum, goddamn, and the gum melt. You know how you know the gum melt? Because goddamn motherfucker be chewing to be sticking to your lips and you pulling and stretching and stretching. That's how it was with her, right? Sometimes she be this close to my face trying to explain something to me about a contract or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I be holding my breath, you know what I'm saying? And then that for, I be have to, you know what I'm saying? you know, because I ain't no swimmer. Swimmer can hold their breath a long time, but just the idea, she like be this close. And her friends and them, they knew, I don't know why they ain't telling. So I had told her about you know what I'm saying, her oral hygiene and all that shit, and she thanked me for it and all that old bullshit, you know what I'm saying, you know. But the fact is, you know what I'm saying, I used to see the motherfucker at times, you know, how a motherfucker gonna have powder on their motherfucking feet. She got a sandals on, but powder on her feet. Who does that? Powder on your motherfucking feet. Yeah, you know, so I ain't gonna put her all the way out there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna put her enough to where it's a motherfucker know, you know what I'm saying, nigga? Goddamn it, if I was a man, I ain't finna put myself in a trick bag, so I got other ways to goddamn exploit, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, you know. So, you know, I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying, where the paperwork is, but she never responded back. So, with that being said, I'm like, what's what? Okay, you know, just cause I don't fuck with you like that, you know, she seen all these years I never fuck with you, so you know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of motherfuckers that I don't fuck with. Period. Period. You know. So all I'm saying is like this here. You know, as far as you know, as far as when it come down to trying to, you know, be friends with a person, they want more, you know, and you really not feel them like that, not even fuck them like that, you know. I mean, I ain't nothing I could say, you know. I mean, I could show you better than I could tell you. So, you know, what I was doing, I was just kind of staying away from the motherfucker as far as letting her, goddamn it, not even answering motherfucker, text, cause that's how I do. I text motherfucker. We be texting, you know. I don't never call no motherfucker. It's rare that I call a motherfucker by their name, you know. I just say, hey, or what's up, you know what I'm saying? Never no text. But this is that motherfucker right here, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I come with some of the baddest motherfucking chicks and I turn down, you know what I'm saying? But what I want to say, that's her, you know, pretty much. This her again. You know, this is not my not my type like that. You know, for sure. Yeah, the bitch used to think she was all this and all that better than other women's, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but this here go here again. This Laffy Taffy face motherfucker, you know? She like, I ain't ugly or nothing, but I'm like saying to myself, which mirror you looking out of? You know what I'm saying? You looking at the funny mirror like they have in the funny house, you know, in the fun house or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the bitch used to walk when she used to like have this fat stomach, you know what I'm saying? She, you know how Santa Claus is, she have a belt around and be wobbling and shit. But the fact is, you know, the bitch used to lie a lot, you know, try to spin a motherfucker. And niggas used to like, yeah, she be trying to spin motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? As far as, yeah, I'm gonna get you this contract, I'm gonna do this here, because, you know, they used to go on what she say, right? So, you know, like I said, she used to do my certified payroll, so she had all my information pretty much. But then what slipped out of her mouth was fire. She got $100,000 policy in my name, you know, so what made you say that? But that drink made us say that pretty much, you know, because I never be around her where we be drinking and kicking and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But just so happened, I was trying to see what was up because, you know, even though she worked as the Chicago Public School, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to beg no motherfucker, goddamn, if I was to open no door for me where I can kind of like, you know, get down on some contracts, whatever. You got to bring that shit to me. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't finna lay there and kiss your motherfucking ass, you know what I'm saying? Like I like you and all that those shit. I ain't no pretender. Period. You know, so yeah, that's the situation with that. So I'm still working with that one, you know what I'm saying? Files are trying to, you know, navigate. And I got some people like, you know, gonna find that policy because she ain't telling me. And I'm trying to figure out like what's what, because I know at one point she was paying the business insurance, you know what I'm saying? She paid that for a year, you know what I'm saying? Even though this before I was really started getting contracts, you know, she was paying that, you know, and then turned it over to me, you know what I'm saying? But at the same token, yeah, the insurance guy was cool with her because he ended up being cool with me. So I don't know if that's that place, even though I'm a check with it. But you know what I'm saying? It's nothing for to forge my signature because she probably had me sign something one day and I'm thinking I'm signing on to this contract in order for us to have my signature. Or I probably signed a paper, you know what I'm saying, not knowing because I trust this motherfucker as far, you know, when you got like 6, 7 pages, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you may got contract pages on one side, but then at the bottom you got a paper where it says signature, and that can be that policy for the insurance. You know what I'm saying? That's how conniving the bitch was. You know what I'm saying? You know, niggas used to tell me, goddamn, if I how the bitch used to like smoke crack and shit. My little partner, you know what I'm saying? You know, I knew him, he was a little boy and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I came back to that to the gardens, right? To the gardens, you know, that's where, you know, I come from, you know, this neighborhood project, right? So pretty much, you know, coming back, you know, so, you know, I hear a lot of things, this, that, and other, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and other. I'm like, damn, you know, since I was gone, you know, all them years, not in jail, but, you know, I never used to hang out there, you know, pretty much. You know, I was from there, you know, I used to go back where I used to hang out at, right? And then I advanced more, you know, when I was a teenager, right? So, you know, pretty much he was like, yeah, man, you know, that bitch, Andrea, that bitch, this, that, whoop-de-whoop, you know what I'm saying? You know, because they was stick-up men's then. They grow up to be stick-up men. Some will grow up to be stick-up men's, and some grow up to be selling that motherfucking, like, loafs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Young motherfuckers, you know, that I kind of seen, like, little, you know? So he like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We was in this club called Jimmy. She's like, yeah, man, you know, yeah, the bitch they got them right there, you know what I'm saying? You know, was with Oz and his sister, you know. So he said he had followed her, goddamn it, Files and this other chick and the dope man, you know what I'm saying, Files to his house. And then they ran up in there and they tied him up and shit, you know what I'm saying? But before they tied him up and took the shit, he said the bitches, they were sitting at the table and shit, smoking and shit. And then when they came in, he's like, man, you know, she was talking about, yeah, that bitch Andrea talking about, can I suck your dick, whatever, you know. He like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know, turn around, he tied him up. Now, me not knowing that they masked up, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm not knowing that because I don't really know how to stick up shit go, you know what I'm saying, if I was in that generation, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So he had told me this like about 7 years ago, even though he stayed in Georgia now, right? So one day I mentioned it to the bitch, you know what I'm saying? I say, oh, so you just smoke crack, huh? Bitch like, no, I ain't smoke no crack. You know why you said that? I say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I say, goddamn it, nah, look, you know what I'm saying? Little shouty told me that, goddamn it, Files, man, you lay there, Files, you know, he followed you and this chick, you know what I'm saying? And then he robbed the dude and he tied y'all up. She said, oh, he done that? I like, he done that, you didn't know? So then it come to my mind, oh, they must have been masked up because she didn't know that that was them, you know what I'm saying? That was him. I thought maybe they didn't have no mask, you know what I'm saying? And they probably knew. So she's like, oh, that's who that was? I was like, yeah. She said, oh, okay, you know? I was like, she said, nah, we was at the table and I didn't know the dude was a drug dealer and he this, that, another. I'm like, bitch, you know, it's a whole fucking lie, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know. But anyway, you know, we wasn't no boyfriend, girlfriend. It didn't even matter with me because I don't fuck with motherfucking bras that fuck with, you know, got clean or whatever the fuck, you know, the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But I know the clique of bras she is to hang with, you know what I'm saying? From what I used to come back through the gardens here and there and ride down on, you know, and I know their conditions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know? But anyhow, I got another subject too. You know what I'm saying? So this is a subject, you know what I'm saying, about her friend, about a situation that happened couple of days ago, you know, when I was talking about it to a other friend, you know. But just go to show you, you know what I'm saying, like I said, you know, be careful about who you get your information to, you know what I'm saying? Whether a person be telling a man, I'm a real estate, I'm a realtor and all this and all that, and you get your social security number, you get your information to. Well, where they trying to, you know, turn you on to something, telling me, let me fix your credit and all that shit. You got to be careful about all that because these motherfuckers is conniving. Niggas is conniving. You know, white people is too. Yeah, a lot of people, you never know who's who, so you got to be able to know how to trust a motherfucker, you know? Period. So, I'm gonna lay there Files, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyhow, you know, let me continue, right? So it's this other motherfucker, pretty much, you know? Yeah, it's this other motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? That I'm finna tell you about, you know. In the New York Minute, let me do this here. Yeah, okay, it's this other motherfucker I wanna tell you about, right? Now, this chick here, right? She from the same motherfucking projects, right? First, I'm gonna give a shout out to Beery. Beery, you know, my girl be braiding my hair and shit. You know what I'm saying? Be hooking me up on the one for sure. You know, yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she be hooking me up. You know, But okay, they had this picnic, right? They had this picnic, this large picnic out here for a lot of the steppers and whatever else, it's a large picnic, It was like around, what I'm saying, in this big ass park and shit, And so anyhow, I slid through, about maybe about 3, 4 o'clock, 3:30 or something like, right, slid through. It was packed, right, super packed, So, I'm seeing people I ain't seen, what's up, this, that, another, but, fast forward. So later on, I see this chick, right, you know what I'm saying? Now, man, the chick is her friend. Now, it's her friend, but I met her back in the 90s, early 90s, I've been out the joint probably about 4 years, getting money and shit, what I'm saying, had a spot, and then I was living elsewhere, but I used to work my spot, and then, if I knock chicks at the club, I bring them over to the spot, and then if they live out of town, I just pay it like in the joint, and they'll serve from the door, and I go home, give me some rest, go to sleep, shower up, and come back, and now and kicking, we go eat, and whatever the case may be, right? I always told them what to do, you know what I'm saying? Because the bars, it was on there as padlock. So, all you got to do is just pass the shit through the door. Motherfucker got a problem, then, tell them to call me. Anyhow, so I had laid there files and met her, you know what I'm saying, on the avenue where it's like strip mall, shopping malls and shit, right? She was so fascinated about me, and then she say a boyfriend, a husband, whatever, just got killed in a car accident about a year before that, right? So, So anyhow, man, you got them files. I'm like 6 years older than them, both of them. Like the one I just showed you and her, now they friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if she told her that goddamn it, what I'm saying, that she had a policy in my name. But anyhow, so I'm walking around the park on my way out and shit. So, what I'm saying, I see her and I see a few more chicks that I know, what I'm saying, that's real cool, right? And they was all sitting together. So I ain't hollered at this chick or said nothing to this motherfucker in years and years and years, even when I used to see her out. She'll speak, but I just wave my hand and keep it moving, right? So at this time, what I'm saying, Files, I gave her a little more. I said, hey, what's up? What I'm saying? She like, hey, Randy, how you doing? What I'm saying? Motherfucker be like, oh, you still look good, all of that bullshit, what I'm saying? For me to be 63 almost, So, this bitch like to drink a lot and this, that, another, even though I told this story to somebody else about, about her, pretty much, Now, we fucked around one time, right? One motherfucking time. So the one time, goddamn it, Files, we fucked around, what I'm saying? I had no desire to fuck with her again and shit because, I'm meeting bras and then I got, what I'm saying, a broad at the crib, what I'm saying, with my other son, my first son, I raised him pretty much, what I'm saying? And then I had side chicks, so them days come up to the spot, So anyhow, me and her kicked it at one time. Then one day she came over drunk, maybe about a week later, right? Came up to the spot, what I'm saying? Now it's like about 2 in the morning, right? What I'm saying? Now I'm going home about 6 in the morning, sometimes 5:30 because, roll call, when roll call, goddamn it, come, what I'm saying, at 7, 8 o'clock, that's when they probably come and raid, maybe. So I can miss it, what I'm saying, if that's the case, right? So I work the spot, what I'm saying, then I go home, Now, one day she came over, knocked on the door. I like, what I'm saying, like opened the door a little bit. I'm like, what's up? She like kind of drunk. Hey, I have to stop by. I just want to talk to you now. I was like, want to talk to me? I'm like, what's up? I'm busy, what I'm saying, because I was just trying to relax and shit and watch TV because I had the furniture out and everything, what I'm saying, the spot. But I had a big ass let out bed in the front, it was like a 1-bedroom, what I'm saying? So, so that means it was easy for me to get up. Somebody knock on the door, it's easy for me to get up and go serve and then go sit back down, right? In the chair, whatever the case may be, Now, she like, yeah, I want to talk to you. So I'm like, I'm busy, what I'm saying? So, I'm like, man, so, I got to holler at you later, so I'm trying to close the door. One way I can close the door and at the bottom her feet in the door, right? So I kind of pushed her feet out the door, kick it out the door, and then, as I do that, then she got her hand in the door. And then I'm like, damn, this bitch got damn. So I'm like pushing her hand and her arm out, telling her, I just want to talk to you. I'm like, damn, what I'm saying? Then she trying to put her knee in the motherfucker, right? I'm like, girl, you better get your motherfucking ass on. Then I finally got out and then I slammed the door. 2 days later, what I'm saying, she called me, she like, this when they had the burner flip phones and shit, right? And the pages still, right? She like, I'm sorry, what I'm saying, I was drunk and this, that, another, this, that, another. I'm like, damn. So, man, you goddamn it, fathers, if I didn't call you or fuck with you the second time, goddamn after that first time, I had no intention to fuck with you out no more. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? Unless you really, really brought something to the motherfucking floor, and then that was just business only. Only, if you hear me. Now, yesterday we was at the park, right, and I seen her, so, and she was with some more friends that I knew and whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's cool, that I come up with, right? At least one of them, but the other one cool too, you know what I'm saying? Her name Tasha, right? So they was all there. So I was telling her about her friend. I said, yeah, your friend bogus, you know what I'm saying? Your friend, goddamn it, that lady that goddamn it had that motherfucking $100,000 policy say out of her mouth, and goddamn it in my name and all that there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's a lying motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I always a lying motherfucker. Then I said something else. She like, oh, well, trying to overtalk me. Like, you remember when she first met you, we was at the 50 and you said this and you said that, and then you bought all us a drink and you left, you know what I'm saying, and this, that, another, And I was like, listen here, that's some old shit. You talking about some 90, you talking about some 2000 shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear none of that shit, and by the bitch used to fuck with the motherfucking head round, so that head round leave motherfuckers where they be talking slow. When you talking to me, goddamn, you know what I'm saying, some old shit, especially some shit I don't want to hear about, speed it up and get to the motherfucking point, right? So she like, yeah, well, this, that, another, do you remember? And the other girl kept telling her, he don't want to hear that shit. He just tell you he don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, talking about it. He like, yeah, why you talking about my friend like that? You know what I'm saying? I was like, listen here, you did. All I'm saying is, I don't even want to hear that shit. You did what I'm saying? Period. Period. Fuck you talking about some 2000 shit about me and her when I met her and all that shit and what I said. Bitch, you talking slow enough, goddamn it, so it bored me. You know what I'm saying? So, however, we got to talk a bit about some other shit, right? And the bitch steady talking about that shit and talking about, I say, okay, since you won't let me talk, I had some gym shoes that I bought from my homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Because he had that shit he was selling. And, he really gave them to me, so I set my bag down. I said, okay, since, goddamn it, Files, you know what I'm saying, you over talking me where, goddamn it, you trying to talk with me and shit, I'm going to talk about us. I'm going to talk about me and you. Let's talk about me and you. Yeah, I'm standing up. I said, let me tell you something. I fuck with you one time. One motherfucking time. You did what I'm saying? One time. You did? Like one time, right? You did? I say now. You remember that time you got them and files that you came over there, another time you came over there drunk to the spot. You did? You came in there drunk to the spot, you know what I'm saying? And goddamn it, fine, I told you I was busy, and then you goddamn it, fine, I'm trying to push your arm out the door, and then you had your feet in the door, and I push your feet out. She's like, you a damn lie. I'm like, no, ain't no motherfucking damn lie. Why about I just make this shit up? You know what I'm saying? See, I wouldn't even brought this shit up right here, even though I did tell him behind the scenes, but I would never brought this shit up, but then goddamn it, you trying to defend somebody else and talking about and over talking about some shit that I don't want to hear about, talking about when I met a motherfucker, all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say let's talk about us. Let's talk about me and you. So she's like, oh, this, that, another, you damn lie, like you a motherfucking lie. You was drunk, you fucking alcoholic, you know what I'm saying, Files, goddamn it, then it got to the where I said, goddamn it, the bitch, goddamn it, Files, so embarrassed by what I said and shit, and the other chicks, they telling her, they like, see, this, that, another, and she was like, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? I said, no, bitch, fuck with me, Now, mind you, you understand that this time they like, telling her to come on, pulling her away, and she like talking. I like, bitch, goddamn it, your stomach look like a bag of fucking chitlins, a wrinkled ass fucking chitlin. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn it, that shit turned me off. That's why I didn't probably want to fuck with you. The bitch got some toes like fingers. Like finger toes, the motherfucking bitches with long toe with fingers and shit, you know what I'm saying, with corns on them. Yeah, the bitch had the finger toes, right? Anyhow, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying, bitch, goddamn it, Files, man, fuck you mean, you know what I'm saying, bitch, you chilling, goddamn bitch had wrinkles all on her thighs because she on some shorts and shit, yeah, bitch, like, fuck you. I like, yeah, like I say, bitch, fuck with me. She like, you a bitch. I'm like, yeah, now, any other time, maybe 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying, my reaction probably was different. You know what I'm saying? So really that was kind of like a, you know what I'm saying, a test really because, bitch, I would have laid your ass out, and a good thing would have been about it, good thing about that, We not even in no relationship, so it ain't no domestic. It just been a straight motherfucking battery. You know what I'm saying? You did because goddamn it, files. So I didn't even feel that in me for that. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. You did what I'm saying? Because the bitch a buzzard. I called a bitch a bum and all that shit. Bitch was embarrassed. So. Mind you, you did what I'm saying? I'm like, man, bitch, goddamn it. So she tell her friends now, damn, you know what I'm saying? They was telling her, you shouldn't be trying to take up for nobody else and this, that, and another. She was like, coming to her senses, right? Now, I'm like, okay, so let me throw this bitch out here. Like I told her, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Files, I fuck with you one time, bitch, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no goddamn Files interested in fuck with you 2 times, you know what I'm saying? Let alone 3 times, you know what I'm saying? Because once I fuck with a bitch one time, bitch, that's one time only, bitch. I ain't looking for to fuck with no motherfuckers, You ain't be on nothing. This bitch here look like Howdy Doody. Let me show you this bitch first of all. You see what I'm saying? This who her friend is. This how the bitch look. Imagine me talking to a motherfucker looking like that. She talking about, yeah, she 57. Bitch, you look like you got on a motherfucking silver rights dress and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mind you. How the fuck goddamn it Files man shit, Talking about man fucking with me. This how the bitch look now. What kind of shoes is them the motherfucker got on? Look at that. You can tell motherfucker ain't got no dress, no coordinated. I call the bitch a bum. Her and the other girl I just talked to, they're a bum. Them bitches just a bum with the motherfucking job. You know what I'm saying? Look. Here she go again. Bitch got freckles though. Bitch like plain Jane. Bitch like, man, got the nerve to lay there one. Bitch, man, shit, I done turned down some of the best. And you know what I'm saying? And if maybe fuck with them, goddamn it, periodically when I want to fuck with them, Let alone, goddamn it, to fuck with you. Here go the bitch again. Bitch 57, bitch like goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers back goddamn in the 60s picture. Bitch look like Howdy Doody. You know what Howdy Doody is? Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you again. Bitch like Howdy Doody. This Howdy Doody, Like this should be a show, right? Back in the day, right? You know what I'm saying? We was little, That's who that is. Bitch, how the fuck you gonna try to fuck with me? You know what I'm saying? And goddamn it, Files, man, the bitch goddamn it, Files, was probably aware, of the motherfucking lying ass, crackhead ass bitch, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't aware that the bitch smoked crack till later on and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because the bitch mama was a drug out. Her whole family, she was talking about how they corrupt and shit, Be trying to put shit in motherfuckers' name and all that old shit, Yeah, that's what that bitch look like. Look again. Can you imagine a motherfucker looking like, and talking about 57, you look good, bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I done fuck with some of the deluxe's baddest bitches, man. You understand me? Goddamn it, in the motherfucking town, man, and turned down because your motherfucking marbles, goddamn it, files were missing. So, man, I'm like independent, man. I ain't trying to, man, listen here, man. Motherfuckers be just glad to be my motherfucking friend, but I cut all that shit off, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that shit, man. No motherfucking friend, because I ain't fucking with you. In hindsight, I look back, I'm like, man, shit, Bitch just got lucky, goddamn it, at the spare of the moment for me to even jackball with you, even fuck you, at that point. You heard me? But wasn't no intimate shit, none of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that bitch breath you to smell like the wild coyote. Anytime motherfucker goddamn it Files, the gum melt in your motherfucker, like how the sun would melt some motherfucking gum and there's 100 degrees is on the motherfucking ground. Man, you know what I'm saying? The bitch was chewing, then all of a sudden it started getting sticky and goddamn it Files, and you know how the pizza had that cheese and be sticking, well, the gum, and she pulling off her lip and pulling off. I'm like, god damn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I ain't really got to lie. I ain't fuck with them hoes like that, man. Just business. I try to let motherfucker know I ain't no type of nigga to be asking for no motherfucking tools and fuse and a pair of shoes and shit, Bitch, goddamn, we can get some money together. That's how I fuck with what I got something on the float, you know what I'm saying? And incorporate you, give you a cameo in my video, goddamn, and we do it like that, you know what I'm saying? Having you play your part, goddamn, and you get paid for that. Or you got something, that you bring that, I'm able to goddamn files, look into and enhance the goddamn files and let you know files the people that you fuck with don't fuck with them, you know what I'm saying? And we can take it to another level. I fuck with it like that. That's why I'm talking about get money together. All that other shit, you know what I'm saying? Talking about the love, I love you, the love train, love boat. This ain't that. This ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, bitch, you know what I'm saying? It's about goddamn if I was getting down, goddamn it, dirty but staying motherfucking clean. You know what I'm saying? For sure, and that's how I roll. Yeah. Yeah, so them bitches there. I got more in store now. Definitely, especially on that other bitch, you know what I'm saying? But goddamn it, Files, man, let that bitch goddamn it, Files, now she ain't got a producer because I got somebody searching, and you know what I'm saying? In the Department of Insurance, they saying they only can come up with it if you deceased, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much, but then they turn me on to somebody else, so I got to call them and find out what's what, where they can put my name is, you know what I'm saying, through the database and see, goddamn it, Files, is the policy in my name or one was canceled or whatever the case may be, So, with that being said, like, man, dirty motherfucker, man, the bitch, man, bum, man, you go to bitch used to try to get me, like, man, here go keys to my house, just come over there, all of those shit. You to try to, like, this the first bitch. I always got them files, man, talking about, I want a trip from my job. You want to go out of town for, bitch, I don't want to look at you like that or let alone wake up with you, bitch, looking like Frank Gusenberg or some motherfucking bitch, you know what I'm saying? I want to fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? Hard face motherfucker, Bitch titties this motherfucking long. I promise you now. I ain't gonna show the pictures out here, you know what I'm saying? See, what I did is, when I called the bitch back, you know what I'm saying, to ask about the policy, what I did is, you know what I'm saying, the bitch don't know the camera's already rolling, so therefore, bitch, you can't say that you didn't say this here, okay? Or, whatever, I got all the motherfucking text messages and everything talking about the policy and this, that, and another, So if it was some bullshit, I'm lying, why discuss this here about a policy, Bitch thought I'm a street nigga where goddamn it files if something happened to me, bitch, you a cat, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You got me motherfucking twisted, bitch, you know what I'm saying? You must have motherfucking missed it, you know what I'm saying? To know, goddamn it, they kept telling you, people kept telling you, goddamn it, files I'm too fast and don't try to fuck with me, Bitch, I could have laid there and had you lost in the motherfucking sauce, you know what I'm saying? But I spared you because I ain't that kind of nigga, I don't try to use no motherfucking broad, you know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm gonna get money with them, but in your case, bitch, I didn't want nothing. Like I said, a lot of these other niggas, they want tools and fuse and a pair of shoes, you know what I'm saying? And this, that, and other be like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Look out for me and, go get them 2-for-1 suits and all that up there. None of that shit. You can keep that shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't be like trying to get no money, them from no motherfucker. If you want to lay there and goddamn it files and make a wise contribution or contribute, you know what I'm saying? If you got more you don't want, that's cool. I ain't asking for shit. Goddamn, I'm asking goddamn it file how a motherfucker get some money together. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, see what's what, to see goddamn it file they work at a bank or a motherfucking goddamn it files or I fuck with these contracts like I got my business license on the LLCs, right? I ain't crawling to the bitch like, hey, why don't you hook me up and why don't you get me in and all that there. You know what I'm saying? See, you got them when the bitch had claimed that she left the Chicago housing, right? The bitch was still there. You understand? Bitch didn't leave there, goddamn it, files until goddamn it 2018. But in 2015, at December, she told me that was her last year and she was going elsewhere. So I figured, cool, I could have kept it going and shit, but by that time, you know what I'm saying, was other shit jumping off, And, man, like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't even fuck with none of these motherfuckers. These bitches is burned up. I went to the picnic and, man, you should have seen them bitches' feet, man. Man, them bitches got some ugly-ass motherfucking, dirty-ass motherfucking feet. You can throw some grass seeds on these motherfucking feet. It was so goddamn dirty. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, take some grass seeds and pour some water on that motherfucker. Goddamn bitch probably grow all kind of shit up on her feet right there, like a chia pet. Hey, stay tuned. I'm going to go live. I just had to do it like this here. You know what I'm saying? In order to goddamn it roll out like this here. So in the meantime, in between time, Adios for sure. Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Files for sure. You know, I just ain't have time to do it like this right now, but peace out.